Hey moguls, it's Dr. T here, and I'm coming to you with another upgrade so that you can be in your most powerful self, and ultimately, so I can be in my most powerful self, and so we can ultimately do that together. The upgrade that I'm doing is one that I'm doing on myself in this way in which I am now sharing more and more about my own transformation as a way to go beyond just talking about transformation and training it and teaching it and leading it, but more and more by demonstrating it as a form of leadership that I keep getting the navigation to do more of. This is also the pathway for me into living more as my authentic self, following the divine guidance I'm receiving to rise up into new paradigms of living and contributing and positively influencing and just transforming myself as my gift to the world and coming into more of my authentic self, reprogramming myself from the fears of being witnessed as a person who is a work in progress, reprogramming and healing from toxic shame regarding being a human, regarding growing as a human, regarding transforming as a human, and just being seen as a human. I mean, wow. And so I share this transformational moment with you as a gift to you, but I also do it as a gift to myself to lean more and more into this experience of being witnessed right in the heart of a vulnerable experience of growth, coming to you imperfectly myself, learning a new methodology that is newer to me in terms of my application of it, which is internal family systems and that methodology for transformation. And while it's been around for 40 years, and I've known of it for quite some time, it's the first era of my life, this chapter where I am learning it and engaged with practitioners supporting me in it, and then also applying it to myself. And as someone newer on this journey, when I first learned about it, I pretty much knew almost immediately, or I should say, I've known about it for a long time, but when I first learned about it in this recent chapter of my life, where I have really experienced a lot of trauma in a certain time period and where I was really needing to transform. Um, and I re-engaged with it. I knew I had a resonance instantly. I was like, this is the pathway. This is what's needed in addition to all the other transformational modalities I've been using, including the one we use in our coaching programs. And I have been doing sessions in this and several of them with myself because it's a process that you can do with a practitioner, but then the work continues with yourself as you learn to run your own internal family system as the head of that and what I consider your own internal dynasty of co-creators that are inside of you, creating this empire of your life, this reality that is yours, and um, all the parts of you that are trying to run you and help you, and in my language, that are doing everything they can for you to be in your highest power with what they know so far. And the more I learn about internal family system and the parts of us and how this resonates, I'm so aware that with all the work I've ever done on myself and all that I know you have done to transform your life, I realized that I was neglecting many, many parts of myself that I didn't even know that's what they were. And I was also taught this model of like, well, everything is just an emotion or a thought. And the more I learn about parts, I am able to see that really what's happening all the time is that different parts are shifting into gear. And then there are the experiences of where my actual full self is in flow, in charge, running this dynasty of co-leaders that are running it inside of me. Um, and now I can really understand that different parts of myself are kicking in, taking over based on various situations and using their skill set. Um, for those of you that don't know a lot about internal family systems, I'm just going to give a quick synopsis, which is that the concept is that there are parts of us, there are these protector parts that are divided between managers and firefighters. Managers help you manage through life, run your life so that all the best things happen and you don't get hurt anymore. And firefighters are the ones who, when you get hurt, they immediately come to the rescue, try to get you to do some behavior, do something that distracts you from the pain. Their job is to get you out of the pain. So they will create a lot of ways in which to do that, which can also, unfortunately, be like with addictive substances or behaviors or things that are going to get you immediately out of pain, but they can cause long term consequences. And then there are the exiles, which are the parts of ourselves that have gotten so profoundly wounded over our lifetime. And they have been like banished when we say, in this, as Dr. Richard Schwartz says, the American and Western culture is just this rugged individualist society that says if you get hurt, just forget about it, move on, keep going, forge ahead. And unfortunately, we've all been, from everything that I can tell, creating many injured parts of ourselves that are then abandoned, neglected, and effectively exiled. Although they are there, they are vulnerable, they are creating vulnerabilities in us. They get triggered, and all the protective parts of us are trying to keep that from happening. But it happens, which is why we then end up binge eating or drinking or doing distracting behavior and ultimately feeling like we're being run by the parts of ourselves rather than our actual self, which when we navigate and connect with and tend to these parts of ourselves, the good news is that our real self can emerge. Take charge of this, what I like to refer to as this dynasty of beings, this team of people inside of us, and make sure that they have what they need, that they can change roles and transform if they'd like to, because they've been in roles that have not been very fun for them. And where you can ultimately have, instead of a team of conflicted parts all fighting with each other, running you into the ground, trying to help you as best they can with the skills they have, you can actually transform these parts of yourselves. And that really spoke to me because my whole life is about transformation. And now that I am tending to these parts, giving them attention, by the way, all the kind of attention that I always wanted my whole life from my caretakers, from my parents. Man, did I want this attention from my family, my community, the people in my life. And now, and then, as someone I can say that spent years teaching self love and self care, especially in the beginning of my journey of having a transformational company, all of that has been beneficial. But the internal family systems piece was really missing in that there are these parts to attend to, not just this one mind or one energy system. And now that I am aware of these different parts and I'm connecting with them and tending to them and working through the backlog of where me, as the head of this family system inside of me, has been neglecting these beings inside of me, these parts, and then also feeling like the people that are external in my life that I felt like they were neglecting me. And really, it's because I didn't have the full extent of this model that I am having more of now. And now that I'm tending to each of these parts, I can honestly tell you that this is the most transformative thing that I have ever experienced. And when I combine it with the methodology that my company does, which is help people go from reactivity and being in a reactive unconscious program that is running them, or programs that are running them, into intentionality and living a life of absolute intentionality in every way: thoughts, deeds, actions, language, communications. And now combining this with uh, this internal family systems with the methodology that I've been using for years to bring me forward in my life, um, it's a game changer. And I have uncovered several parts of myself. I've been giving them attention. I have been beyond amazed at what reveals itself in each session, whether that's a session with a practitioner or a session with myself. Um, I can honestly say that I am feeling every day that I do this a change in my nervous system, and that the traumatized parts of me are transformed. And I look forward to doing every piece of transformation on myself that is needed to give to myself and ultimately these parts of myself my internal family system, the love, care, support, strategies, and connection that they all need to succeed in their roles and to help me succeed in everything that I'm here to do. And I just keep inviting people into these sessions that I'm doing and doing on myself. And I want to say that it's not a small thing for me to open myself up this way and just be in the vulnerability and authenticity of it. And I'm glad that I'm doing it because it's different than what I ever thought I would be doing on the internet, but it's what I'm being guided to do. Um, I invite you, to share anything that you have in response to it. But I also want to say that as I share a very vulnerable, transformative process, I invite you to be constructive and kind about your feedback. Um, and what I'm going to say now is that there's a part of me that I am wanting to give some attention to and transform and connect with. And that part feels like it is the way that it shows up in me is this very, the word is, I'm just going to say it like hateful energy. And what it hates is it hates dealing with parts of our system of reality that feel incredibly painful to me. It feels traumatic. It feels stupid. It feels antiquated, um, frustrating. Uh, and it's a lot of different things that activate this part of me. It could be doing a lot of administrative work that it takes to be a person and run a life and run a company and run a reality. It really shows up when I'm dealing with literally any part of reality that just feels like it's behind the times. It's like antiquated. It's quite honestly just the word that I'm just going to keep flowing the authenticity. Something that just feels stupid. Um, it shows up when I'm doing things like dealing with banking and the old antiquated systems of banking and what that frequency feels like to me. It shows up when I'm dealing, and again, this is also because I just moved from the US recently. And part of why I'm glad I'm out of there is because the systems are old and antiquated. And where I live in Dubai, they're new and innovative, and getting more and more innovative and fast and very pro human experience. Um, and it's, it could be something like just, again, just like dealing with a governmental agency that is old and antiquated. And I'm just going to give one example, like where I live in Dubai, there is no physical mail. And in the US, you have the experience of having things emailed to you, texted to you, and mailed to you, where you have to like do all three of these things and open up this mail and like the snail mail situation. And like recently I needed to do something with a US bank because I'm slowly but surely getting out of the US banking system and I'm so thrilled I'm almost done with it. And like they wanted me to fax something and I'm just like, faxing like it's 2024. Like, what are you kidding me? Um, Something like I'm selling my car in the US because I left it there to see if I really needed a car in Dubai, which I do not. And like instead of just sending me the electronic paperwork to sign, we have to do this whole snail mail thing. And I'm just any time that I am dealing with institutions or companies and sometimes individuals, and I hate to say this, but it's my authenticity. It's a trigger in me. I can feel some of the worst hate for it. And I didn't think it was that, but the more I started to ask this part what it was about, it's almost like it's a hater. And I kind of thought it was maybe more like a rager, maybe a little bit more like it's a rejecter of something, but it's a hater. So I'm just giving myself permission to acknowledge that and not need to be some, this is a part of me that developed in order to help me out in some way. And it really shows up on a pretty regular basis when I feel when it's time to do the administrative portion of life, which is pretty regular. And it can also keep me from doing some of that stuff. And I can see that it's trying to like protect me from that experience. So, um, yeah, it's a lot, it's different experiences that also go into things like the fact that I love all the technological advances we have, that I think it's ridiculous that we have to have like 70 different portals, dashboards that we have to go into to run a life. Like it used to be that like, I'd write out like 5 different bills, send the checks in, and then go on about my life and be able to have fun, do my hobbies, and be free. And now in life, it is 70 different subscriptions, dashboards, passwords, the freaking 2 code factor identifications, the getting like it's insane to me. And I feel the hater part of me, uh, while it understands these are technological advances, there's this hater part of me that is just really upset with how much it takes for one single human to run a reality and what that's doing to humans. And I'll speak for myself, the stress and the difficulty. And there is just this hater part. So I am going to go into a process with internal family systems and really start to tend to that part, explore what's going on with it, how I can help it, what I can do in order to start shifting that experience. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'd like to connect with the part that really feels a lot of hatred. The part that feels a lot of anger and frustration toward a lot of aspects of life. I'd like to connect with the part that feels like this extreme vitriol regarding doing a lot of different administrative things and all the requirements that go on with that. I'd really like you to come forth and make yourself known. I'd like to deal with this part and connect with you that can feel a lot of hatred for being forced to do a lot more of these administrative things now, and more of them all the time. I'd like to connect with that part. And that part is very present right now because I think it sits right on the surface a lot of the time because it's generally interacting day to day. And I thank you for showing up. Uh, where it lives within me, which is part of the internal family systems process, is it sort of lives as this like like this screamer that is screaming from inside all the time, like with this screaming, screeching, vitriolic voice that just goes off and is like judging all of these antiquated, like seemingly stupid processes that take time away from our life that we have to live. This hater voice, it feels like it's coming from over here and like screaming, screaming. I don't know why it's on this side, but it is. It's coming from over here, like ranting, screaming, screeching. It's also in my jaw. And it feels like more and more it's just really, really angry and hating and hating and hating certain aspects of modern life and what is required to literally just take care of yourself in this life, run a reality, and be successful. It's definitely a pure, uh, ugh, here it is. See, this is the face it makes. That's weird. Okay, just go. It's 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 making this face. Hang on. I've got my dog TJ with me, as always. Yeah, it's really making this face. Ugh. And it's also living in my brain. Ugh, ugh, I'm just doing that. So, thank you for showing up. It's it lives in my brain and it hurts my brain. It just keeps doing this. That's its. So it's very much here right now. Ugh. It's like this whole energy's going on in my head right now. Ugh. Ugh. It's like a very toxic feeling. It feels very overheated and like it's running my brain into being like burnt to a crisp. It's definitely saying no to all of that admin, all of those emails, all of those constant need to interact with all of these institutions. Blah, blah, especially in the US. Blah, okay, it's definitely present. There's definitely a lot of it 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 can say it. It hates it. It hates having to do all of these things to just run a life, and it hates it because it feels like a slave. Okay. Uh, so the process entails checking in on how I feel toward it. And how I feel toward it is I feel sorry for it. I feel very sorry for it. Ugh. I feel sorry for it that it has so much hate and pain, and that it has to go through all of that. I also feel toward it that I don't like it because it makes it hard to have to just take care of those items. Every time I need to call a company, if I have to call Wells Fargo, if I have to call AT&T, if I have to deal with any of these organizational entities, these numerous systems, I, I don't like it because it makes it harder, because it has so much hatred for having to do all these things that it makes it hard to just get them done. And what I'd like to know next is what what do you think would happen to me, to Tracy, if you didn't do that? Uh, it's saying that I would not know just how bad for me those things are, that I would not know. It's saying that if it didn't express this venomous, vitriolic hatred that I would not know how poisonous so many of those things are to my human system and all of our human systems. It's really ranting. It's saying you would not know just how bad each of those frequencies are for you. You would, I would, that without that, I would think that they're just companies or organizations or institutions. And that I would not know that they are part of a system designed to continuously extract from me and everyone and that these systems, for the most part, don't have any care for humanity. It it's saying that if it didn't express the hateful poison, that I wouldn't know that these companies, these entities, and their strategies are all part of a system of enslavement. It's it's saying that I wouldn't know what's what's actually happening to me and my fellow brothers and sisters. It's really, really ranting at this point. It's saying that I wouldn't wake up and understand this system and what it actually is doing to me and everyone else. And I would go blindly forward, as most people do, just interacting and going further and deeper into the system's clutches. Getting trapped and not being able to ever come out. It's just still ranting and ranting, so I'm going to hear it out. It's more of it. I want to be kind here. It's evangelizing. It's saying that if it didn't have this like hateful, rebellious response, that I wouldn't understand that each of these entities that requires some consistent, regular, ongoing administrative effort has an agenda to further enslave me and extract from me everything that it can. It's going on and on. This part is like an evangelist at this moment, saying that if it didn't hate on it, if it didn't express the hate in what it's calling like a level of activism against the system, that it would be engulfed by it. And that ultimately I would be engulfed by it. And that ultimately it would kill me. Because this is what's happening to everybody. Like a frog being boiled slowly in the pot. What else do you want me to understand about what you think would happen if you didn't do that hateful response and play that role? It's saying that I would, if without that, without it, without its doing its role, I would be unconscious and become a walking dead person who thinks I am alive, but that ultimately I am a carcass being fed on throughout my life until there is nothing left. It's really going off. It's saying that I wouldn't know that the way the system works is to keep getting people to make more people so that this system can keep feeding itself and it can grow by getting the supply off of the people. It's still going, so I'm going to let it tell me. Sorry, I'm here to listen. I'm here. I want you to tell me, and I'm going to invite you to also just tell me in a calmer fashion. It's saying that everything is designed for the system to keep feeding itself, and it begins from the moment it gets you to conceive of another person, continues as you're bringing them into the world, and then keeps going throughout your life where the system and all of these entities can feast off of the person, and that it programs you to do what it wants you to do so that you will feed it and go on its agenda, making it grow while you get weaker and weaker until there is nothing left to feed on, and you die, and then it feeds on you in the funeral process. Is there anything else you want me to know? That it's trying to help me understand that I am a slave to the system, so that I can figure a way out of it and to transcend it, to live in freedom, and to do so without these institutions and the powers that be coming after me because I'm telling people about it, and wanting to take me out the way that it does when people get hip to it and become conscious. This thing is just literally going like, it's on a pulpit. It wants me to know that it's feeling all this hate to have enough energy to battle it, to battle the system as a powerful warrior for human freedom and a new paradigm and a transformative revolution in, in human functioning and a new way of living that becomes easier and easier on people, that is all about human thriving and sharing and community and humanity at the heart of it. Is there anything else you need me to know right now? It's kind of like thinking, it's thinking. It's saying it it could say a lot more, and it has more to say. There's a lot of work to do, but this is why it does what it does. It's seeming a lot calmer right now. It's saying thank you for listening to me in a new way. That it has my best interests at heart and is not trying to get in my way of getting things done, but that where it used to be that you could get certain things done and then go do life. Now, the belief that someone could keep up with it all is also the fallacy, and that as it watches me try to keep up with all of it and sees me trapped in a never ending level of, of, of administrative effort. It wants me to understand that this is a trap. And it's the intention again to extract from people, enslave them, and keep them on a hamster wheel. Ugh. Okay. I am prompted to check in about how I feel toward it now. Number one, I feel very blended with it. So I'm glad I could see its own voice. And I am appreciative of it. And its protective role. And I am just thanking it for its service. To help me navigate how to function in this world and also change it at the same time. I am wanting to know uh, what age you think I am and when you started this role. It's giving me 8 years old. Just giving me 8. Okay. And I want to understand. Well, first of all, I want to let you know that I am a very mature adult and I can handle everything you're telling me and I can handle what I need to do about it. And I really want to understand what made you feel you had to begin protecting me at this age of 8. At the age of 8. And to be clear, I'm at a different age right now, but what made you feel you had to start protecting me? Being in the school system. Wow. And the way it was hurting me, making me do things that were not right for me. Doing things because that's what these entities tell you to do. But that it could see that it was hurting me because I learn in a different way, because I wanted to play, because I needed a system to actually allow me to grow in a way that is best for me. And while I'm just checking in to say that I'm pretty close to this part. I'm probably about 8 feet away. I want to go further and connect with it, and I'm asking if that's okay with you. If I could come closer. And this part is just sitting on a bench. And it's sitting like straddling the bench. Kind of just kicking its feet up back and forth. And now I'm sitting across from it, and we're facing each other, straddling the bench. And so tell me more about why you started this protective role, this hating, screaming voice. Saying that, knowing that Tracy is this creative, unique, outgoing, confident, playful, energetic, neuroatypical, neuroatypical, oh, neurodivergent, it's correcting me at 8, individual who's very caring, sweet, sensitive, engaging, entertaining, trusting being. And it's emphasizing, given that Tracy is so trusting, and given that Tracy is so trusting and sees the best in everything, and sees the best in everyone, this part wanted to make sure. So it's definitely, it's saying that given that Tracy is such a trusting soul, that it started to give her signals to let her know when something wasn't good for her, especially something that seemed like it was supposed to be good for her, or whether it just seemed like it was just a normal part of life. And that it's a signal that is about it. It gives a spike. It gives a it gives a it's almost like a hit or an infusion of bitterness, like you're tasting something that didn't taste good. And that way, even if something seemed like it was supposed to help you, that it wanted to make sure that I knew that it hurt you. And that anything else you want me to know? Just like this little 8-year-old. She got like a. It's just like her legs are just swinging on this bench, like rocking back and forth, explaining this. Is there anything else you want me to know? That when something hurts you, that she's there to let me know to stay away from it. And that it hurts her to see me have to force myself to do it anyway. So she just gives more bitterness and hate and tries to do anything she can to let me know how bad some of these things are for me. She just kind of wants to add in that this can be in all kinds of things, especially with kids going to school, being told that it's good for them. And for a lot of kids, She's starting to tear up right now. She's saying for a lot of kids, it really, 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 really hurts them. Okay. Anything else you want me to know? She's kind of going like this, saying that we need to do things that are good for humans and that help them be healthy and have a lot of fun. And that everything should be more fun and more play and more connection, more play with friends, just more fun, and that she doesn't understand why we don't make everything fun for ourselves. Is there something she's saying thank you for listening to me. She's saying that she cares about kids and adults. And she's wanting to give me a hug. So I'm hugging her. She's like, up, we're facing each other, so I'm hugging her. I'm rocking. These are the kind of hugs that my grandmother Bernice used to give me. These are her favorite hugs. I'm letting her know that she's doing a really good job telling me these things. Very brave of you. Very, very brave of you, honey. Very proud of you. These are happy tears because I'm very proud of you for saying these important things. Very proud of you. I'm going to listen to you a lot more and what you need and what you're wanting to do now. And I'm opening up the embrace. And I'm looking into her eyes. Is there anything that you need me to do for you? Or to tell anyone? Or to take care of something? And she's just looking up at me. And she's saying, tell people that kids are hurting, having to do lots of things that are supposed to be good for them, but it hurts them a lot. Trying to do things that hurt when people are telling them that they're good for them. And she's saying that kids are hurting a lot and they're afraid to say anything because they're told that these things are good for them. And that they need a better way to be in this world. Anything else you want me to tell people? That adults feel the same way because they've been having to do this a long time. And it hurts kids to feel it themselves and to see their parents hurting, having to do all of it as well. And just to let people know that kids and adults are really hurting. And we need a better way to do things. And we need things to be more fun. So that everybody can have a lot of fun and have a very fun life together. I'm going to let them know that. I'm letting them know that, okay? I'm hugging her again. Just rocking her. I'm very, very proud of you for saying the things that need to be said. Now, what I want to know is, since I am a mature adult and I'm much older now, I'm much wiser now, and I'm more capable now, and I can handle it, and I can work to change it, and work to create a better way for me and share that with other people and learn from them. I want to know if you would like to do something different now with your role. If you'd like, you can. Well, actually, I want to know that too, but I want to also make sure that you feel you have unburdened yourself, and if there's any other burdens you are feeling that you want to get rid of. She says these are the biggest ones. Okay. And now that you've shared all that, and all that energy and all of that stuff that you shared, you can actually unburden that by giving it up to something so that you don't have to carry it anymore. And you can give it up to whatever you want. And some people give it up to and let it go to other things, or some people give it up to the earth, to air, to water, fire, God, different, really anything you want to give it up to. Is there something you want to give it up to? She's thinking. She's saying she doesn't want that bad energy to go to anything or anyone. And hurt anyone. What she's giving me is a magic trick that it it it's given up to magic. It's given up to magic. That magic can create and can take it and create something new with it. Love that. All right, so we're gonna have you give it up to magic, okay? So she's got like a pretend, like a wand, and I'm holding this like hat, like a magic trick thing, and she's going like this with the wand. 1, 2, 3, and it's given up to the magic. That's incredible. I'm really proud of you. That's a great idea. And now that we've done that, I want to know if you want to change your role into something else, or take a break, or not have a role like that anymore. Is there a role that you want to do? So she's saying that she wants to help me not by being not by being bitter or hating anymore that she's done with that, but that she would like to help me speak to people, but especially kids, to make sure, she wants me to speak to kids. She wants to help speak to kids. She wants to help me speak to kids. But she's saying I want to listen to kids because they have a lot of magic. And they have a lot of magical ideas to make things better. And that's why they're here. And that just because they're little doesn't mean they're less magical. And that actually, because they're littler, because they're more little, they're more magical. Because they have not lost their magical powers yet, having to do all of this stuff they don't want to do. So she wants to come with me and help me be better able to listen to kids and listen to the little kids that are inside of adults. Because she's saying there's a lot of little kids inside of adults that need help. And she would like to be with me and be my sidekick and come with me. And also she's showing me like being a cheerleader, and especially when I'm helping other people, that she's there and she's making sure that kids feel heard and that kids are a part of the changes, because that is where the magic is the most available. Okay. Okay, let's go. And now we are walking away together. And we are holding hands. And she is telling me all the different things that she wants to continue to share with people. And we're just holding hands. And most of all, we're having fun. Okay, moguls. I am just coming back into more of the moment, and I am continuously amazed with this process. I'm just continuously in awe of it. And I'm just I'm so grateful for all of the years that Dr. Richard Schwartz stayed connected to this work, internal family systems, and that he let it speak through him. And that he went through the exploration to connect with each of his parts, learning how to navigate with them, learning how to support them, how they work together, how they interact, what they're needing, what happened to them, what their message is, and just going deep into the exploration to be able to liberate them. I'm really grateful. And when I think about what it takes to let something new and innovative come through you, unfold, bring itself into reality through you as a vehicle, when there can be so much challenge to it and resistance and so much effort, and you're working against a current system like the system of psychology and reality. Again, I just want to say I really want to acknowledge Dr. Schwartz, all of his clients who ever did all they have done to help him learn and grow and figure it out and organize it, and all the people that have ever contributed to internal family systems therapy so that it could be brought forth to all of us and it could be brought forth to me so it could connect with this little part inside of me who's a very powerful one with a powerful message. And I just want to honor that, because 40 years of dedication to something to make sure that it actually is birthed into reality and can create a revolution in therapy, psychology, humanity, and recovery, and the elevation of our society is a profound commitment and dedication to something in the face of so much that I know it must have taken to get here. And I just want to commit more and more to that level of dedication and transformation and connecting with all of my different parts and everything that they have to teach me, what they need, their messaging, and to just keep staying open to what these moments bring and what these sessions are bringing. And to learn how to navigate with all of this because I'm laughing, right? It seems like there's quite a few of them. that I can feel are inside of me working as a team together, and also needing support to do that better than they have been able to so far. And I also want to say that I want to honor all the parts inside of me that have done everything that they've ever done to bring me to this moment, and that anywhere I have ever been in judgment of them, that I'm sorry, because it's kind of amazing what all of the parts of ourselves ever are able to do to bring us to where we are in a moment of life and to keep us going, and how much they endure and how hard they work. And I just honestly feel like I wish I could spend all of my time just tending to them, this little family inside of me. And while I know all of us are so profoundly, overwhelmingly busy with so many things that are being given to us to do that seem so incredibly important and make us feel like if we don't do them, the whole world will fall apart. And I totally get this and relate to that, like, know it intimately. I can just say that for me, there feels like at this point nothing more important than each of us recognizing that inside of us there is this internal family system. There is a family of beings with their own unique personalities and identities and roles and lives, and they're living them out inside of us. And that ourself and all of them together are really needing our attention. And that while our society has done all it can do to keep pulling us outward and outside of ourselves and to keep taking from us and taking from us, that it really feels like the moment of transformation and the revolution that is upon us is for us to connect inside of ourselves in a way that is this practical. Because I know we're taught this to do, we're supposed to connect with ourselves. I've been teaching this for a long time. I've done it in many ways. This way feels like the most practical, tactical, strategic process that acknowledges more of the truth of what is going on. So it feels like there's never been a more important time than to tend to our internal family system, the team of parts that is running us. Give it the attention, give each of them the attention they need. Allow more of ourself to come through, because we've given the parts the attention and love and support and the new strategies to transform their lives so that they can be a part of our own transformation and the transformation of the world that is effectively essential at this time. And I want to echo Dr. Richard Schwartz, this head of internal family systems therapy, when he says that he sees that the transformation of humanity will come from each of us doing this process of tending to our internal family. And I really, really agree with that. And I'm just committed and dedicated to do this growth and to share more of it, to get better at it. I have a feeling it could maybe go faster, but I'm learning as I go, to open it up more, to be more willing and open and exploratory and sharing. And I'm just really dedicated and committed to reorganizing my life and my world and all of my infrastructure around the ability to be able to do this with myself to transform at the highest level and to bring my transformational process and the experience of this on my trajectory to you, bringing you this content, bringing you demonstrations and strategies for transformation, and just connecting with you in the way that honestly just gives me the most peace, satisfaction, sense that I'm on the right track, and the most clarity that I've had in a long time in my life, maybe ever. And I'm really here to do that and figure out every step of the way what I need to do so that this commitment, this process, this channel, these videos, the different shows that I am being guided to do can come through me, and the different mechanisms that I need to have in place will be made available. And also just thinking about what my beautiful part shared with me today, my sidekick. I mean, she's been there all along, but she's really my sidekick. What she's been sharing, which is that things need to be more fun, and that as I approach administrative things and the different ways in which I need to deal with them and the entities in which I need to engage with, that I can bring more fun to that experience and find a way to build a life and an infrastructure that is that fun and is creatively making it so that I'm only doing what is really necessary in engagement with all of those entities, and making sure that I'm, to every degree possible, only engaging in entities and organizations and just experiences which are of a higher frequency, which are meant to be mutually beneficial collaborations, which are part of the new system of humanity that we're all building together, and to pull my energy to every degree out of any institution, any organization that is part of the old system and has an agenda that I can immediately recognize thanks to my sidekick, and I can move in the direction of everything being more fun. And I think that is one of the greatest prescriptions that a doctor can give. And I love that it came from this little one. So thanks everyone for being with me today in this internal family systems session and this demonstration, and most of all in this experience of transformation. Thanks for supporting me on my trajectory as I support you on yours. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, moguls.